list, I know a lot of you all, at least seen your names, maybe not talked one-on-one, but I have definitely seen a lot of these names in the commission part of NETLAW. So thank you for being an advocate of NETLAW. What I'm going to do today, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so everybody can follow along. Let me start the slideshow here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend only about 5-10 minutes talking about NETLAW. Most of you know what NETLAW is because we've been with WFG for about 7 years now. But for those who don't know, I'll spend about 5 minutes going over what NETLAW is. But the exciting thing is we have a new portal. There's a new agent and client portal that I would like to show you today and show you how to use it. So if you're not familiar with the portals, I'll show you how to get signed up for NETLAW. And then we'll show you what the actual portal looks like and how to use it. So let's go ahead and get started. So NETLAW is an online estate planning tool that you can sell to your clients. We know that you're not an attorney. That's our job to be the attorneys. But when you talk to your clients and, we talk about life insurance and we talk about IULs and annuities and all that great stuff. But the one thing that always gets brought up that before NETLAW, we really didn't have an answer for was, do you do wills and trust? And before we came on board, no, it was mostly, let me get you to an attorney that I know. And the problem is the attorneys can't pay you back for that. So there's no commission from an attorney returned. So you just send your information to the attorney, they would create the documents and your clients would go on. But in 2012, we developed NETLAW out of our estate planning law office group. And that law office group is called Hargrove Madden. And what we do at Hargrove Madden is we serve wealth clients. So you need a lot of money to come in. But in 2012, we read a article out of Bloomberg that said that 60% of Americans don't have a will. That's 60. That's too many people not to have a basic will to protect all of the assets that they've acquired throughout their lives. So we said, okay, why is it 60%? Seems high to us. I'm sure it seems high to everybody. So we did a little research and there were two reasons why people, do not complete their wills. One, nobody wants to talk about death and dying first, right? But it's all going to happen to us, no matter, how great you are and how great a shape you are. One day we're going to meet our maker. And the second reason, it's expensive to go see an attorney. It's very expensive to come in and speak to one of our attorneys in our office and get your documents done. So we said, well, how do we solve both of those issues? And it was easy, technology, right? Let's make it inexpensive to create your documents and we will not sell this. We don't sell NETLAW to clients. We don't. That's why we created this so that financial agents go out and sell this on our behalf because you're already having that conversation with your clients, right? So why not add estate planning to it? Because the estate planning is your door opener, right? It gets you the ability to talk about everybody that's important in their life and actually gets you to see their client portfolio. What do they have? What are they trying to get? It's all one conversation wrapped up in estate planning. And we'll go over that in just a little bit. But in 2012, the American Bar Association said that the NETLAW software had the best online delivery of legal documents. And as of today, we're the only ones to win that award. So not LegalZoom, not Legal Shield, not Legacy Shield, not Rocket Lawyer, not NOLO, none of them. We are the only ones to have the American Bar Association's backing of having the best online delivery of legal documents. And that's what we hang our hats on every day. This is what the agents sell 95% of the time. And this is our premium probate avoidance package. And it is a full comprehensive plan that everything that your clients need when it comes to protecting their wealth and their health. So, just to go through real quickly on why you need these documents, and we'll dive down a little bit farther as we go through the software. But the first one is the will, right? Why do you need a will? And, and this is the thing that we bring up right away. When we first get a client interested in having a meeting with us, NETLAW should be the first thing that you bring up, estate planning, because the will is where they're going to list their executors, guardians for minor children, and they're going to list all of their assets and who those beneficiaries are going to be. Now, why is that important to you? Because they're listing everybody who's important to their life. If they don't have their will and trust set up, guess what? These people don't either. So what's that? Referrals, right? Referrals. And the great thing is when you go through your will, well, you have to list everything that you own and who those beneficiaries are going to be. So they're going to list life insurance, annuities, IULs. And if they don't list it, isn't that a great conversation to have? Hey, I noticed that you didn't put any life insurance in here. Do you have any? Okay, well, let's talk about that, right? It's so your client portfolio is going to increase and your product portfolio is going to increase, helping out more families because they're listing their executors, their guardians, their alternate trustees. Who are these? These are people in their families. These are their friends. Referrals. So client engagement, referrals, and more product leads. That's exactly what you want, right? And it all starts with having estate planning because they're doing all the work for you. You know, a lot of agents go, yeah, you know, I find it so hard to have that first conversation because I don't want to come off salesy, right? We don't want to come off salesy and pushy like we're trying to get them to purchase something. This does the work for you because in the software, it's asking about all of this stuff. So that's exactly why we do the wills. Now there's a children's trust in here too. So there's two major things that we're going to talk about when it comes to protecting children. If any of your clients have children under the age of 18, the first thing that you talk about is protecting them. And how do you do that? One, with a children's trust. Children's trust says if mom and dad pass away before the kids are 18, how do we want them to receive their inheritance? Do we want them to receive it all at age 18? Probably not, right? I'm not leaving my kids $1 million life insurance policy at age 18. It'll be gone by the time they're 20. Right? So you can spread that out over time. Protection from the grave, I call it. Making sure that the child can't run through their inheritance. Power of attorney. Of course, we all know what that is. Naming someone to make our financial decisions for us if we can't make them ourselves. Right? For the hospital, if maybe mom and dad's getting older and their mind's not as sharp as it once was, don't you want to come in and help them make them decisions before, you know, you wake up and there's no money in their account? Healthcare documents. The next three documents on that list talk about healthcare. Healthcare surrogate is someone who's going to speak for you in the hospital, talking to the doctors, the nurses, the insurance companies on your behalf. HIPAA authorization allows someone to see your medical charts, psychotherapy notes. And the last one is your advance directives. It's called a living will in most states, but that's your end of life decisions. Hey, keep me alive as long as possible, or just let me pass naturally, right? We've got a pet trust. So a lot of people love their pets, probably more than their kids. You can have a pet trust set up so that you can leave money behind in that trust to take care of that animal when you pass away. Someone's got to take ownership of it, but if you don't want that to be a financial burden to that person, it can work. And then the big one, the revocable living trust. This is big for your beneficiaries because what you're going to do on the trust is you're going to name all of your major assets: home, cars, bank accounts, boats, vacation homes, major items, funding all of those items into the trust, transferring the names of those items out of your name and into your trust name, so that when you pass away, those items get transferred to your beneficiaries right away. If not, it goes through a system called probate. Probate is the process where when you die without a trust, all of your assets are frozen by the government. Whether you have a will or not, all of the assets are frozen. That gives creditors time to come in and take what's owed to them first. After the probate process is over, which usually takes about 8 months, then everything gets passed to the beneficiaries. But if you want everything to pass right away, you simply fund those assets into the trust. We'll talk a little bit more about that. We have a light vault as well. So the cloud storage is inside your NETLAW plan, where you can store all of your important documents. This vault has 100 gigabytes of data, so you can store everything: estate planning documents, real estate information, tax information, bank account information, pictures, videos, anything that you never want to lose, you can store in here. And then we have a 7-day money back guarantee. If your clients try it and they don't like it for any reason, we'll give them their money back, as long as they haven't downloaded their documents. Best part about this software is all the documents are revocable. You can go in and change them at any time. I'm not going to go over this screen because it's, there's a lot there. But you can see why there's reasons why you would ever want to change your documents. Changing states, having kids, having grandkids. You can go in and change your documents at any time. The best thing is you don't have to keep going to an attorney's office. If you come into our law office, we're going to charge you $400 to change one document. $400. It's crazy. The cost of this program is $600. It doesn't make any sense, right? Why wouldn't you have this? So this is for you guys. The next 4 screens is exactly what you need to talk about when you're talking with your clients. And this is why do you need estate planning? And I broke it down into 4 components. I've talked a lot about these already, but if you take anything away from this presentation, the next 4 slides, this is all you have to talk about. When you die, who's going to get your assets? If you don't have a will, the state will decide for you. It's called intestate. Intestate means you died without a will. The state has no idea what to do with your stuff, so they're going to distribute it the way that they see fit. Now, most people want their assets to go to their spouse and then to the kids, right? That's most people. But most states do 50% to the spouse, 25% to the kids, 25% to their next living relative, which could be mom and dad, brothers and sisters, cousins. You don't know, right? That's why you don't want to leave it up to the government. Who wants the government interfering in anything that we do? Let alone where our assets are going. Second, sticking with government interference. If you have children under the age of 18 and you don't have a will, you didn't list a guardian, the state will decide who has custody of your kids. If my clients have this, this goes to number 1. If they have children under the age of 18, this is the first thing I bring up. Because you have to remember, not only is the judge going to say that the kids are going to go live with this person, that person also gets their inheritance and takes care of it until the kids are 18. Now, wouldn't you rather have that decision than some judge who doesn't know your family? Absolutely. Absolutely. This is exactly what you tell your parents. And you always say, and I always tell them, look, I'm not trying to scare you, but if you don't know this information, you're going to be in trouble later. Avoiding probate. We talked about how important this is. Funding your major assets into the trust. It really takes about 15 minutes to do this. Most people just put their property in, their houses. And all you do is you take the trust document and the deed to your house, you go down to the county clerk's office and you do a quick claim deed. That's it. That's how you put the asset into a trust. It costs about $150, maybe in California, a little bit more expensive, maybe $200. But that allows you to make sure that your assets in that trust are transferred to your beneficiaries right away without government interference. And lastly, the medical decisions. This is, I always tell people, because people don't really understand medical documents being part of your estate planning. But I say, this is the protection that we always talk about. This is the protection from if mom's laying in the hospital and there's 2 kids, both know she's terminal, one wants to pull the plug, one doesn't. That's going to cause a firestorm in that family. We need to move mom to an adult living facility. No, she can come live with me. All of these decisions can be taken care of in your healthcare documents so that when that time comes, there is no fighting between the families because mom or dad or whoever it is has already made the decision. This is what's going to happen when I get in there. How convenient is that? Those are the 4 reasons. That's what I talk about. And I know it's what Lily and Sandra talk about. They say all the time. They're awesome at this. And that's what they talk about. I've talked to them about it. So if you haven't got started with NETLAW, or you were on the old portal, you need to switch to the new portal. And this is how you do it. This link at the bottom, you need to go there and register. It's only a one-time registration. You go in and then you forget about this link. And I'll send this copy or this presentation to Stephanie and she can pass it out to everybody. But this would be the screen that you want to take a picture of or write it down. because you have to go to this link to get started. And remember, we pay commission on every plan that you sell. For the $600 package, it's $250. $250. We only charge $600 to the client. We're giving you almost half. This is our phone number and email address. We are on the East Coast, so we're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I want to show you when you go to register. Let me see if I can do this. Can you see my new screen, Lily? Okay, good.
You see it.
So, yeah, good, good. So this is when you go and you click on that link and you get registered, this is the page. Now, what's really important is this up here in the browser, netlaw.com/advisor. After you register, forget about that link. You don't need that link anymore. Bookmark this because it's going to take you there automatically. netlaw.com/advisor. That's where you go for the new portal. This is going to be where your new dashboard's at. And I'm going to sign in here. And this is what the dashboard looks like. The great thing is, if you're familiar with the old one, it had the CRM, it still does. Here's all my clients. It gives a status bar of where the clients are in the process. This is different from the old portal. After we sent the invitation before, we didn't know if they completed it or not. Here it tells us. So it's a great way to follow up with your clients. Hey, Lily, I saw that you completed all your documents. Now, have you funded it? Have you transferred over? Christine, I see you haven't completed yours. You okay? Do I need to help you with that, right? It's a perfect conversation call. And they're going to love that because, oh my God, they're following back up with me. And what a great time to go. Let's go through the documents again. Boom. There's the there's the next conversation. I didn't see the life insurance. I didn't see the annuity. So how do you send an invitation? Down here in this bottom, and I keep looking over because I got this on my other screen. But all you do is you hit this plus button down in the bottom right and you hit person. You put in their name, email address, and create contact. That's it. It sends them an email with a link. They redeem that link and it takes them right into their client account. What's the client account look like? This. You have your profile. And it's just like before. I've already got this pre-populated for time constraints. But this is what it looks like. You just fill in the blanks. Right? Who are you? Where do you live? Key people, right? We had the key people before. This is the people that are going to play the roles and everything. My spouse, my kids, my friends and family, my parents. How do you enter it? Down here in the bottom right again. Click. Click who you want and fill in their information. And it automatically adds it. Legal documents, here's where you complete your documents. Here's the will and trust. Here's the healthcare documents. Here's the power of attorney. Great thing is when you go to fill it out, oh, look. Remember, both spouses get to create their documents for the $600. So here's me. Here's Donna. Got the check mark on me. So you know that's whose documents you're completing. If you wanted to toggle back and forth, boom, it's easy. And it's all question and answers. Who's the executor of your last will and testament? You click the box and here's all your people that you put in. You just select them. Successors. You always have that main person for executors, for guardians, for trustees, but you always have successors as well. Who's going to fill in the role if they're not able to do it, right? Guardians. And let's just say I wanted to take Jacob out. Okay, he's gone. And I wanted to add Ashley. How fast was that? Successor guardians. This is good to see. You can have multiple. You can have one or you can have none. You can have multiple serving together. So if there's two or more, they all have to agree. Or best of 3, best of 5, best of 7. You can have them serving after each other, one after each other, where you list the names. That's the order that they have the rights to decide anything, or one or none. Trustees, your clients are always going to want to be the trustee of their account. Then you have alternates. And remember, you can always change how they are in the order. Remember when I said that all these documents are revocable? You can go in and change these at any time. So we're taking care of everything. Executors, guardians, and trustees. Here's where you list your property. How do I want it distributed? And if I ever sell my house, do I want that house to replace this one? Yes. So you're always covered, right? With this replacement property, here's my address. But if I move to 100 Main Street, by clicking yes here, that house is automatically in my will. How many times is that going to save people? I forgot to do it, right? Other real estate. Some people may not be from this country and they have property in Mexico, Brazil, India. You can add those properties as well. Specific bequest, that's household items, right? Like I got gold watch, $20,000 cash, my Lexus, go a 2020 Lexus. All you do is just hit add. Who do you want to give something to? What is it that you're giving them? And when do they get it? Disposition of residuals, right? This is, okay, where do I want all my stuff to go? All to my spouse, everything else, everything that I didn't list in specific bequest or the property, everything else, all to my spouse, then to my kids, all to my kids, or I can give it to a charity or somebody else. Most people click the first one. Do you want to admit any children? This is big. You may, your clients may have kids that are drug addicts, alcoholics. You don't want to leave them anything. You know what they're going to do with it. So you can omit children. And this is the children's trust. Remember when I said that you can distribute their inheritance? You have the 4 options. And then the last question in the will and trust. Ultimate disposition. If your wife, your kids, everybody that you know died before you, where do you want your stuff to go? Heirs-in-law is your next closest living relative. Or you can split it 50-50 between yours and your spouse's. Or again, you can name charities or anything else. You just created your will and trust. Now, I went through it a lot. It probably took 5 minutes. 5 minutes to create your will and trust. If you come into our attorney's office, about 3 hours. Silly. Great thing is it lists over here. So if you ever need to go back to change anything, all of your stuff's right here, listed out in the will and trust section. You do the same thing for healthcare and power of attorney. Everything's stored in your My Files. My Files is the vault, right? I talked about the vault. This is where you go to print out all your documents. You print out your documents, you get them witnessed and notarized. And then fund the trust. That's it. That's all you got to do. The whole process, literally, for both spouses to create their documents is 20 to 25 minutes. Both spouses. That's NETLAW 101. So you passed. So let's turn it over for questions. This is my favorite part of doing these webinars. I do them every day. So if I flew through it too fast, I apologize. But it's kind of like, you know, when you know something, you go kind of quick. So whatever questions you all have, Stephanie, I'll turn it back over to you and we'll answer some questions.
I'm going to chat for you. I'm going to go through the chat for you and go through all the questions for you. I can hear you, Cassandra. It sounds kind of broken. Do you have something specific? Because I heard your voice and I see Paula has a hand up. So
yeah. Why don't we have people type in the chat? It'll be a lot easier. So
yeah,
we're not speaking over each other and you can facilitate the questions, Steph.
Thank you so much, Christine. So I'm going through the chat waiting. You got a lot of applause. Okay, question from Paula Whitehead. It says, where do I find my old clients?
So your old clients are still in the old portfolio, Paula. Eventually, we will create a CRM that will transfer everything from the old to the new. So give us about another 2 months on that. And then everything that you had in the old portal will be in your new one. But if you can't wait that long, what I would do is just go by, write each of their names out and email addresses and send them another one on the new one.
Okay. Alma Carenzas is asking, can we print out flyers from this portal?
No, but if you call us, we have flyers that we can send you. I'll send that to Stephanie. We've actually created new ones. So I'll send that to Stephanie and then she can pass out all of our new flyers to everybody.
Okay, Rosemary is asking, what does it mean? What does fund your trust mean? And I know what it means, but I would love it if you could answer it in your wonderful non-legalese form.
Okay. So funding your trust simply means you're taking that asset out of your individual name and you are letting the trust now own the asset. And why do you want to do that? Because everything in a trust is private information. That's how this avoids probate. Everything in a will, or if you even don't have a will, all of that information when you die is public information. Everybody can find out what you had, how much you owed. You can just go down to the county records department to find all of that out. But assets that have been put into a revocable trust are private. No one can see it. That's how it avoids probate and gets passed to your beneficiaries right away.
Okay, I hope that gives you the answer that you were looking for, Miss Rosemary. Cassandra is asking, can we switch the new system with a client who has an old NETLAW?
Well, are we talking about someone who hasn't created their documents or someone who has? I mean, you could send them a voucher or a new invite and they could create their documents again.
Okay.
But if they've already created on the old portal, there's no reason to switch them over to the new. They're not going to, it's the same documents. Once you print everything out, it's the same documents. It's just, how do you get there?
Okay. Okay. They haven't, she stated they haven't started yet. So
oh, good.
Send them a new invite.
Yeah. What I would do is just contact me and we can get you a voucher and we can just send it to them, and because they've already paid for it. So we don't want them to pay again, and we can just send a voucher to them. A voucher is just a free plan.
Okay.
And that's one thing that, going back to my, let me see if I can pull that back up.
Okay.
Oh yeah, here, let me get rid of this. So we have vouchers here. You know, as everybody knows, we used to have the buy one, get one freeze.
Right.
And we stopped doing that. But agents can buy in bulk 25 plans and get 25 free. So, you know, it's very valuable because you get 50 plans for the cost of 25. What does that mean? Instead of a $600 package, now it's $300 package, and you get commission on the 25 plans. So it's a great way to stock up on these. You can give them away, sell them for 300, sell them for 600, and double your money. Whatever you want to do, they're yours. And if you're interested in that, please reach out to me.
Got it.
But
Got
the
it.
great thing is when you send a voucher, it's free. It doesn't ask for payment. So it's a great way to get into clients a lot easier.
All right. Let's see. Next question says, it's from Alma Caranda. It says, should people put retirement plans and insurance policies in the trust?
Well, you can. I would say that they should list them all in the will, because the will is a checklist of everything that you have. So the executor knows that to make sure that everything that's there is everything that's owned and everything gets passed over. Now, anything that has a named beneficiary, like a life insurance policy, 401k, all of that bypasses probate court anyway. So life insurance, annuities, IULs, 401k, anything that has a named beneficiary, you wouldn't really need to put that into a trust. But what you would need to put into a trust is houses, vacation homes, cars if you want to, anything like that, boats, any major ticket item that doesn't have a named beneficiary on.
One question that I have, Mark, if you have those items, can you make the trust the beneficiary and change the distribution later?
Yes. Yes, you can always do that.
I'm thinking in terms of more grandkids showing up and how to
Sure.
make sure everybody gets their fair share or
That's
unfair
right.
share.
That's right.
All right, we are okay. So the repeated statement that you put out there, so if we were to buy 25 living trusts and we could sell them just like a BOGO, buy one, get one free.
Yeah, that's right. Because you've already bought 25. I'm going to put 50 vouchers into your plan. Let me see. So here's my vouchers that I use. And over here on the side, I had a total of 18. I've unused 5. So the difference between an invite, that's from the client side. Here's the client side that we showed. If you purchase the vouchers, you have to click vouchers first. And then you do the same thing. You've got the little plus bar, but now it's saying create voucher, right? Before it said create contact. Now it says create voucher. Vouchers are free plans going to your clients. Now, the difference is it's a free plan. So if you are charging them, you have to collect the money yourself. But it's great because you collect the money, you sit there and you help them complete the documents. Boom, you're going to find out about all their people and their products that they don't have. I highly suggest, and I know a lot of people don't like to do it because they're being intrusive, down with your clients and help them do this. It will pay off for you tenfold. It will, I promise.
Last question, Mark, before we bring in your most popular advocate. One of the questions is that, can you share an approximation of the estimated cost and time to fight a case in probate?
Well, every case is different. So I know one that I just had in my family, which is weird because this is what I do for a living, but you know, we always have those people. But in my family, it was about $7,000, $4,000 to hire the attorney to handle everything. And then $3,000 to deal with all the paperwork. And that didn't include the cost of fighting the, because creditors then come in, credit cards, loans, all of that. You have to negotiate all of that down to a settlement. And then that's more work for the attorney. So I think there's just on a small estate, it was just a single person that passed away. It was about $7,000. That's here in Kentucky. I would double that in California.
And remember, people, he was talking about a small single person's estate. We won't even talk about what happens when you have people that are married with children.
Right.
I want to thank Mark so much for all the value that he's brought us, because whenever he's with us, he brings us such great value. And I want to bring on board my favorite, the top NETLAW person in all of WFG and probably in all of NETLAW. I want to bring up Miss Sandra Santillan, because we call her she's not the queen. She is not she's not even a princess. I only want to call her the high priestess. She is the goddess of NETLAW, because if there's a question that can be answered, this chick can answer that question, and she can find it in a heartbeat. So Sandra, you take it away, because I got questions for you later on.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for that introduction, Stephanie. You're just amazing. For the people that don't know, NETLAW is like my thing. The estate planning, I've been working with NETLAW for about maybe 5 solid years now. And NETLAW has brought me so many blessings. First of all, it allowed me to be able to serve all of my real estate clients and make sure that their homes were protected against probate. And through that process, it just opened up so many doors. Like Mark said earlier, it just really allows you to build that trust that you need to be able to provide them with all of the additional services that we offer here at WFG. So for me, it's just been a door opener. When people sit down with you and they start talking about, their death and everything, it just really puts them in this state where they can pretty much talk about anything from that point forward. And they're very open to, sharing their finances with you to, for you to be able to do a financial plan for them. So I would say, and I'm not exaggerating, I would say that probably 90% of my WFG business comes from all of my NETLAW clients. At this point, I've acquired so many NETLAW clients that there's not a single week that I don't get 2 to 3 referrals, sometimes even more. There's days where I'll get 3 random calls just in one day of people saying that they were referred to me either through a family member, a coworker, a friend, to the point where I asked them, well, who exactly referred you to me? And I don't even recall that person's name anymore, because it's pretty much, sometimes it's a referral that came from maybe 4 or 5 different referrals that it's so difficult now to even keep track of everyone. But regardless of the situation, these people obviously really value and they trust the person that sent them to me, that they're just so open and willing to just have me sit down with them and start them up on a plan. I don't ever feel like I'm selling anything. I feel like I'm just, there to answer whatever questions, concerns they may have, and just guide them to be able to feel that their finances are in order. And like Mark said earlier, as you're filling out all the documents for them, it's so easy to just inquire and ask, do you have life insurance? Do you have bank accounts? Do you have investments? And then just from that point on, I just explained to them, in addition to what I'm assisting you here, there's other services that my company has to offer. So that it's almost like so organic how I'm able to just introduce WFG and the services and the products that it has to offer. And as a matter of fact, this last week, something amazing happened. I had 2 brand new referrals, and just by sitting down with them and talking to them, next week, I'm going to be writing up 2 annuities, one for $250,000, another one for $200,000. Michael Paul always, he thinks it's hilarious how the 200s are always following me. He's like, you need to start getting 500s. But again, this is just because I was there to, provide someone with the service of creating an estate plan, and that just allowing me to be able to ask questions, and and that's what keeps me busy. Like all these people that I sit down with and I assist with their estate plan, I'm able to provide them additional services, the life insurance, the annuities, and most importantly, referrals. And that's just how the cycle continues. So, you know, if you're new in the business, if you've been in the business for a long time and you really haven't given yourself the opportunity to learn, you know, NETLAW, the estate planning, give yourself that opportunity because it will help you build your WFG business. Does anybody have any questions?
Everybody is saying what fire. Everybody is indicating that you are just on point, because we already know that you are, like I said, the goddess of NETLAW. I know Mark knows it because you're always, he's here to represent, and he's here because of you, and we really appreciate it. So,
Sandra, I have a question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
okay.
Hi, Sandra. Thank you for taking my question. Maybe you could answer this question. I know you've been with NETLAW, you said like 5 years or so, right? And so in the 5 years, were there some clients that did not really complete their plan in a timely manner for whatever reason? And if there were, how did you successfully transition them over to the new platform? Or if did you transfer them over to the new platform?
That's actually very easy. And I do have a few that didn't. I'm actually really good about following up and making sure that people get their plans done immediately. I have a system where if I schedule an appointment to meet with them to start filling out and creating their plan, before they leave, I already scheduled an appointment for them to come back and get it notarized. Even though the platform, you can have your clients do it themselves, I've learned through the experience that actually is going to create more problems and become more time consuming. I feel that you have to take charge and you have to kind of lead them, because if you leave it up to them, they're going to procrastinate. They're going to fill out the questions wrong. And then you're going to end up investing more time going back and fixing what they did incorrectly. So the way I do it, it's almost impossible for people not to finish what they started. But I do have one person, probably in 200 that I helped, that she just went MIA on me. And we never completed her plan. I don't know what happened with her. But in terms of like the people that let's say, for example, that they purchased the plan when the BOGO was still taking place and they never took advantage of their BOGO, it's very simple. It's just a matter of you connecting with NETLAW, with Mark or Stephanie or Mary, and they'll actually send you a voucher through the new software for that BOGO that they didn't use.
Okay, what about if the client has done like 95%, only like one section in the old system? Does that client, do we go back into the old system and finish it up? Or is it a conversion over? That's what I'm trying to get.
As of right now, if they already purchased their plan through the old system, you can just go back into the old system and complete it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like the BOGOs that they purchased when the old system was offering them. Those are the ones where somebody, you know, at NETLAW would have to send you a voucher, because through the old system, you can't make any more purchases or start any new accounts. That has to start with the new system.
So the old clients that purchased through the old system, they stay in that system. And it's, you know, all the clients that completed through the older system, the legacy, I'll say the legacy system, they're just pretty much under that legacy system, right?
For now, Mark at the beginning of the presentation mentioned that they're working on merging all of the old clients into the new software system. But for now, you can still have access to it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And one more before we wrap up, because we like to try to keep it as a solid hour. Can you speak on how NETLAW supports cases when you need help? Because I've gotten help from Jennifer, she's been real sweet, and Stephanie, because we both spell our name the right way. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, starting from Mark to Stephanie to Mary to Jennifer, everyone's just amazing. All the staff is very, very helpful, very friendly. I always tell other agents here at the office, the best way to reach out to them is through the live chat. Because if you give them a call, most likely they're not going to be able to answer because they're actually on the chat assisting people. So if you have something that needs to be addressed immediately, the chat's the best option. You can call them, you can email them. It just depends on you, but they go on and beyond to answer whatever questions you may have, assist you with any glitches that the software may have. It happens sometimes. They have an IT department that works on it, and then they email you, let you know, okay, it's been fixed. You can log back in there. So the staff is just great. They're very supportive.
All right. All
Hey,
right.
Steph, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm going to let Michael take us out.
No worry. I'm going to turn it over to Christine. But actually, I wanted to ask Mark a question, because I know a lot of times like we can talk about what we do, but I mean, just being the, kind of the organization and the amount of business that Sandra, and I know Lily's been doing a lot for you as well. Like numbers wise, what are they bringing in comparison to a lot of your other people that I guess in WFG or outside of WFG bringing to the table? And what do you recognize that they're doing that's causing them to be so successful, just from the provider position?
Yeah, that's a great question, Michael. So I think Sandra kind of hit on it, and I know Lily does this as well. The most important thing that you can do to be successful with NETLAW and gaining the other products that you want is to actually sit down and talk to them. Sit down, make sure you go through it with them, make sure you complete their documents. The ones that do this are our top agents, without a doubt, because I know who the top agents are. And every one of them sits down with their clients, helps fill out the document, gets them witnessed and notarized, right? Everything is completed. We saw how fast it took me to do that. It's really 20, 25 minutes, both spouses done, printed out. And hopefully as an agent, the best thing you could do, get your notary license. You could do it right there. They're done. They're done. All they got to do is fund the trust, and they will be more appreciative. You're going to get more referrals. But the agents that do that are our top ones. And the agents that actually, to be honest, the ones that have bought the bulk packages are at the top of the leaderboard every month by giving these away for the $300 or the $600 price, because they see the value in that. They see what NETLAW opens up for other products that they really want to sell. I mean, let's be honest, the commission on NETLAW is $250. The purchase price is $600. That's great, but $250, it's not going to get you rich, but it is going to get you rich with one extra IUL a month, one extra whole life insurance a month from NETLAW, right? And like I said, most of hers comes from referrals. So, and like I said in the beginning, and I won't go on and on and on, but 60% of Americans don't have a will. That's the perfect place to start, because let this do the selling for you. You're not going to be pushy. You're not going to be asking, let me see all your financials and stuff. Let the software do it for you, and you will be successful. Hopefully that answered your question.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark, I have a situation where a relative of mine purchased a NETLAW from the old legacy.
Yep.
And maybe a couple of years ago, but they were very reticent about filling it out because there's like, I don't know if I really want to do this. That whole conversation about dying and all that stuff started coming into play.
Right.
Is that something where you can issue a voucher on that, or is that too far gone in the past?
No, they haven't created any of their documents.
No.
No, just email me, mark@netlaw.com,
Okay.
And I'll give you a voucher and make sure, yeah, I'll send it to you. And then, just make sure that you sit there. This is the time, guys,
Yeah,
because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I say that all the time. We never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Trust me. So get
absolutely.
this done because it is going to be so responsible for you. Even though they're your parents or a relative, that's great. But even people you don't know, sometimes we have to be more responsible than they are. And that's our job, to make sure that they're financially responsible for later on in life.
All right. Mark, I just want to take another chance to thank you so much for your time and giving us so much value today, because I can see where everybody is fired up about moving forward with NETLAW. I'm even in Chicago right now. And one of the conversations that I've had with some people that I love very dearly is to get this done, to make sure that everybody has a great peace of mind. So Christine, I do believe you have, oh, you weren't co-hosted. I guess I got to get rid of a co-host, sorry.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
you are co-hosted. So I just wanted to thank you. Let me stop recording, Mark, once again.